Hey YouTube, this is CS and Wild Bill addressing a frequent objection about creationism. What about Kent Hovind? This gets phrased in a few questions and objections, such as Kent Hovind made such and such flawed argument which doesn't match the facts, or Kent Hovind has dubious credentials, or refuting Kent Hovind disproves the whole of creationism because Kent Hovind was a really popular speaker. For supporters and opponents of Hovind alike, our comments regarding Hovind are not meant as an attack on Hovind, but a critique of all those who speak and write as though Hovind's arguments were and are the ultimate offered by creationist thought. You'd think from the anti-creationist videos and comment postings of YouTube that Kent Hovind is creationism, or that he is the pinnacle of creationist arguments, the best that creationist ideas have ever been able to offer, but this is simply not true. Rather, I'd argue the reason Kent Hovind seems popular is because so many anti-creationists only bother to refute Kent Hovind's arguments and essentially ignore the existence of any other creationist ministry. Other larger organizations include Answers in Genesis, Creation Ministries International, Institute for Creation Research, and Creation Research Society, among others. How big an accomplishment is it to refute Hovind's more questionable arguments? Not much, considering that it was done by other creationists in 2002. So those who stick to refuting Hovind are only hiding out 7 years behind the front line of debate. Do you object to getting your science from Hovind in light of his credentials? We won't argue with you there. Hovind holds a Bachelor of Religious Education and a master's degree and doctorate in Christian education. None of these are science degrees, and none are accredited. In all fairness, I wouldn't recommend Ken Ham of Answers in Genesis as a scientific expert either. He earned a bachelor's degree in applied science with emphasis on environmental biology from the Queensland Institute of Technology and a diploma of education from University of Queensland, which was a graduate qualification necessary for his initial career as a science teacher in the public schools in Australia. This is better, but still not a scientific expert. If it's the scientific PhD heavyweight opinions you're looking for, AIG, CMI, and ICR all have several on permanent staff. To Ken Ham's benefit, as a part of AIG, he can simply rely on the expertise of the PhD scientists in his ministry. In light of this, treating a refutation of Kent Hovind as a total refutation of creationism would be like claiming you can best a US Navy SEAL in combat because you've played paintball on the weekends. If you're going to grapple with creationism, you need to grapple with the best arguments it has to offer, which means dealing with the arguments of PhD scientists who support creation models. What about Kent Hovind's popularity? Consider this. Kent Hovind only worked in his ministry from 1989 to 2007, whereas CMI has been publishing an international peer-reviewed journal from 1984 to present, and a popular level magazine from 1978 to present. Answers magazine, published by AIG, has about 70,000 subscribers. Creation and Journal of Creation by CMI hold an even larger subscription base. Creation Research Journal Quarterly is another peer-reviewed journal focused on scientific models and creationist perspectives, and has been published continuously since 1964. CRS has 1,700 members in addition to its own subscription base, where membership requires agreement with the belief statement, and 700 of those members hold at least a Master's of Science degree in a related field. Kent Hovind was one man, touring and giving talks, but AIG, CMI, ICR, and CRS all have a whole team of speakers giving frequent talks worldwide. For those who know what's been happening with Hovind, he will be unavailable for speaking from 2007 to 2015, while the speakers of other creationist groups are not similarly limited. ICR runs 3 radio programs in 2 languages aired on 700 radio stations, and AIG runs a radio program on 900 radio stations worldwide. CMI runs offices in 7 countries, while AIG has grown to be the largest Christian apologetics ministry in the world, working with missionaries in over 100 countries and translating their materials into 76 languages. ICR and CRS both fund creationist research to develop scientific models, one of the most notable results being the 8-year-long RATE project of ICR. ICR has also offered an accredited Master's of Science in Science Education since 1981. Kent Hovind had a small museum, but AIG opened a $27 million, 6,000 square foot creation museum in the central US in 2007, the presentation quality of which is complimented by opponents despite their disagreement with the content. It has attracted 624,000 visitors in its first year and a half and continues to receive international press coverage. By budget figures, the best year of Hovind's ministry appeared to be 1999 to 2004, during which he received $5 million in 5 years. The best year is probably 2002, in which he sold $1.8 million in merchandise. Though this appears sizable, it is paltry compared to a ministry like Answers in Genesis, which totaled almost $18 million of revenue in fiscal year 2007, up from almost $14 million the year before that, which was up from $5.4 million during the year and a half before that. These are pretty good growth figures for AIG. Furthermore, AIG has won multiple awards for financial transparency, so is unlikely to encounter any of the difficulties Hovind is currently facing. Taking all this into account, treating Kent Hovind as representative of creationist ideas overall demonstrates exceedingly poor knowledge of creationist beliefs, and for anti-creationists who know of the other ministries, it displays a deliberate laziness or cowardice due to willfully ignoring the strongest arguments of creation, and instead focusing on claims not even accepted by other creationists. For those interested in what creationists think, browsing the web archives of CMI and AIG at these websites is a solid start. If you want to see some peer-reviewed articles, try Journal of Creation, Answers Research Journal, and CRSQ. For those who want to debate, if you don't address the strongest arguments, then you've not presented a very strong case for your position. We welcome comments, compliments, and especially critiques. But if you'd like us to respond to you, check out our video on comment guidelines before posting, or just read the description sidebar. This is CS and Wild Bill, signing off.